to live stream in the YouTube, and shortly it will be also live stream in the Facebook, the link which was shared to you all. To live stream in the YouTube, and shortly. Okay, we are live now. Dr. Mostafa?
Yes, Dr. Kandappa.
So can you send the link?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I am doing.
So we'll start. Okay, dear everyone, once again. So this summer is, as I mentioned, it's a very special one. Especially this summer instead of vacation, it becomes a knowledge occasion, right? Welcome you all to the CRiT Summer School, which was organized by Center for Research in Innovation in Tourism by Taylor's University, Malaysia. So this CRiT Summer School has almost 11 sessions, including the opening session, which is right now we are all in. So before I will pass the floor to the moderator, we have some instructions or probably some announcements for the participants who have joined here from across the globe. On behalf of CRiT, once again, we would like to thank you all for extending your extensive support by making your presence virtually for this CRiT Summer School. Number one, open camera during the digital photo session only, but just to keep the bandwidth for everybody, because sometimes the people will be joining from other part of the world which has a lower bandwidth. That's the reason. But we have a digital photo session at the end of every session where you get an opportunity to take a photo with the speakers. And participants' mics will be muted all times during the sharing sessions to avoid any disruptions and to have a smooth flow of speakers sharing sessions. We will use Slido today for a feedback with one word to create a word cloud at the end of the session. The Slido QR code will be shown in the next slide, as well as the link will be shared in a short while in the chat. And this is very important. Please use your full name by renaming yourself, because we are going to use that name as an attendance, record of attendance, and the same name will be verified to process the certifications. So once again, I will announce this. Rename yourself. We have given the authentication to everybody. Please rename yourself as you want your certificate and the attendance. Moving forward, this is the code and also QR code for giving the feedback at the end of the session today. Maybe I can give you 10 seconds to scan, because people are used to QR code during this pandemic. Okay, don't worry, those who have missed, we will share the link also shortly in the chat. Okay, so now we come to the exciting part, the beginning. The beginning is not easy always, right? Which involves a lot of planning, execution, and brainstorming, and it comprises of all. So without further ado, I will invite the moderator for the first session, which is an Tourism and SDG opening session. The moderator for this session is Dr. Shantini Duraiselvam, who is the Program Director of the Postgraduates of School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events at Taylor's University, Malaysia. She has been working in the academia for more than 15 years, and also she comes with an industry background. So without further ado, I will pass the floor to Dr. Shantini to introduce our speaker and to... Yes, Dr. Shantini, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Kandappan. A good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are right now. We hope you are safe and well. A warm selamat sejahtera and selamat datang from Malaysia. The Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, CRiT, Taylor's University, Malaysia, welcomes you to the inaugural CRiT Summer School on Tourism and SDGs. We have had an overwhelming response to this summer school initiative and hope you will be able to gain a meaningful experience that motivates you to contribute towards the 7 UN SDGs in your area of expertise. Tourism carries the propensity to contribute to poverty reduction via sustainable development that trickles down to the community level. As a polyglot industry, tourism provides jobs, income creation at several levels of the economy. And this is goal 1, which is no poverty. By promoting the production, use, and sale of local produce in tourism destinations and its full integration in the tourism value chain, local gastronomic traditions can be truly preserved and shared with generations to come. This is goal 2 on zero hunger. As an industry that has a ripple effect on many other sectors within a nation's economy, tourism enables governments to reinvest revenues earned towards the development and enhancement of good quality and accessible healthcare services. This is goal 3 on good health and well-being. Tourism is also an important vehicle in fostering human capital via investments in education and vocational training. This is goal 4 on quality education. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the first speaker for this opening session, Professor Dr. Neethiahnanthan Ragavan. He has over 27 years in academic experience and holds a doctorate degree from France. He is highly involved in hospitality and tourism education, as well as research, not only in Malaysia, but also the Southeast Asian region. He is currently the president of the ASEAN Tourism Research Association, ATRA, and has been active in various international boards. His area of research include tourism policy, hospitality development and innovation, and higher education system and models. Presently, he is the Executive Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences and Leisure Management, Taylor's University, overseeing 5 schools, 1 institute, and 3 research centers. The School of Hospitality, Tourism, and Events is currently ranked top 20 in the world by QS World University Rankings by subject and is internationally benchmarked by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the UNWTO TED-Qual certification. Professor Nithya, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shantini. Thank you for the kind words. Can you hear me? Okay. A warm welcome and a good day to all our speakers and participants to this inaugural PhD Summer School event, especially for those of you from all over the world. I was told that many of you are from different parts of this planet. Yeah. Thank you so much also for giving me the opportunity to make a welcome speech for this inaugural event. My sincere thanks to Dr. Dirk Glaesser, the Director of Sustainable Development of Tourism, United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, for his soon video message. Dr. Joaquim Diaz Sorero, Head of School Hospitality, Tourism and Events, Taylor's University. Associate Professor Dr. Syed Mostafa, Director of Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, Head of Research of the Faculty of Social Science and Leisure Management, Taylor's University. Distinguished speakers, there are many of you who have kindly agreed to be part of this event, and panel speakers from all over the world. The organizing committee, those who actually make this event happen, comprising of Associate Professor, is led by Associate Professor Dr. Syed Mostafa, supported by Associate Professor Dr. Kandapan Balasubramaniam, co-chair of the CRiT Summer School and on Tourism and SDGs. He is also the Associate Director for the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, better known as CRiT. Dr. Shantini Thurai Selvam, co-chair of the CRiT Summer School on Tourism and SDGs, Associate Director of the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism at Taylor's University. All organizing committee members from the faculty and our academic staff, and as well as doctoral students who I was told have taken a lot of time to support the organizing committee for this event as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this event is to bring together experts in the field of tourism and sustainable development goals, or SDGs. The summer school program will act as a global platform to enrich knowledge among researchers, students, and tourism stakeholders in the area of tourism and SDGs through a series of sharing sessions by international and prominent speakers through an online platform like this. Yeah, while it's very difficult to live in a pandemic, but the pandemic has also done some good to us, where it has enabled us to actually be connected through a virtual platform. We are happy to note that there are 22 speakers, and they are from 12 different countries, and as well as they will be covering some broad topics around tourism and UN SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic is a dress rehearsal for the reality of ongoing global climate condition in the world. We are today living in an actual crisis of ecological and climatological disruptions, with rampant behaviors of people with greed and selfishness for their own benefit destroying the earth. Just imagine the tiniest microorganism or the tiniest living organism in the world. The virus, in this case, the COVID-19 virus, is today wreaking havoc to the entire world, and not a single superpower is able to contain this tiny little virus. We have all been struggling for the last 18 months or so in terms of impact on the economy, social, digital, stress on the health system and education. The virus did not just appear like that out of nowhere. It was our very own doing. Our destructive actions like deforestation, disruption to the nature's food chain, and our exotic behaviors towards the ecosystem, which sparks the interaction between animal and human, has resulted in what we are all going through today due to this pandemic and health crisis. This will not be the last nor the biggest health scare that we will all be facing in our lifetime. If we do not go back to the basics and respect our planet, give due considerations to the environment, and find more green and sustainable solutions, it will eventually be the biggest tragedy of humanitarian consequences to this beautiful world that we are living in. At Taylor's, we recently created a module called Social Innovation Project, where all Year 1 students are required to take this course, exposing students aligned to all the UN SDGs, and require our students to propose solutions to the real world problem. Since it is a first year course, it is a great leveler for all students to appreciate and implement sustainable solutions to the community. We hope through this course, we are able to prepare future graduates with the required understanding on the issues and solutions surrounding the SDGs. Yeah. Lastly, I would like to thank CRiT for organizing this timely event and creating a platform for all of us to discuss and debate issues surrounding sustainability and tourism. And hopefully we can find some answers to this crisis post-pandemic. I wish all the speakers and delegates the best, and thank you so much for your kind presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nithya, for those encouraging words. Tourism can empower women in a multitude of ways, including job and income generation via tourism and hospitality enterprises. So part of our program today includes, part of our program this week includes Goal 5 on gender equality. Tourism accounts for 1 in 10 jobs worldwide. Decent work must go beyond employment creation to social protection, rights at work, and social dialogue. By giving access to quality work opportunities for all in the tourism sector, societies can benefit from increased professional development, leading to sustainable economic growth. This is Goal 8 on decent work and economic growth. Indeed, reducing inequalities has been dubbed as the cornerstone to sustainable and achievement of all other sustainable development goals. Tourism acts as an effective means for creating opportunities to overcome inequalities that exist at global, regional, national, and local events. On this line of thought, I am delighted to introduce Dr. Dirk Glaesser. Dr. Dirk Glaesser is the Director of the Sustainable Development of Tourism Department at the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the UNWTO. Under his supervision, the program addresses the challenges and opportunities of sustainable tourism development, including climate change, sustainable consumption and production, health emergencies, biodiversity, and travel facilitation. It promotes safe travel behavior and closely monitors various health emergencies from SARS, pandemic influenza A H1N1 in 2009 to the most recent COVID-19 outbreak and its impact on travel and tourism. He joined the World Tourism Organization in 1997 and has held various positions in UNWTO, among them Chief of Risk and Crisis Management Department and the supervisor of UNWTO's Consulting Unit on Biodiversity and Tourism. Dr. Glaesser is a banker by profession and a colonel of the reserve in the German Armed Forces. He obtained his PhD from the University of Nuremberg, Germany, and won the ITB Scientific Award for his work on crisis management. He is the author of a number of publications which have been widely translated. Dr. Glaesser could not be here with us in person, but he has sent a video message for us.
Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends. My name is Dirk Glaesser and I am the Director of the Sustainable Development Department of UNWTO. I am glad that you have decided to improve your understanding of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and of the SDGs. The first thing I wanted to share with you is related to this current pandemic. As sustainability is often seen as an additional line of action, the interdependence of systems is becoming very clear, especially when we reflect on this evidence. First of all, we know that 70% of all the emerging diseases such as Ebola, Zika, and almost all known pandemics such as influenza, HIV/AIDS, COVID-19 are zoonoses. That means they are caused by microbes of animal origin. Second of all, we know that while pandemics have their origins in the diverse microbes carried by animal reservoirs, but that their appearance is entirely driven by human activities. It is estimated that there are some 1.7 million undiscovered viruses existing in mammal and avian hosts. Out of these, it is estimated that up to 50% could have the ability to infect humans. Pandemics are nothing new, but what concerns us is the rapidly increasing risk of pandemics, with more than 5 new diseases emerging in people every year, any one of which has the potential to spread and become a pandemic. So far, we aim with pandemic preparedness strategies to control the disease after they emerge. An escape from the pandemic era requires policy options that foster transformative change towards preventing pandemics. And as the underlying causes of pandemics are the same global environmental changes that drive biodiversity loss and climate change, this means that opting for sustainability is no longer a cost, but an absolutely needed investment into the resilience of the tourism sector and our societies. As you might know, UNWTO is leading together with the governments of France and Spain as co-leads the 10 years framework of program on sustainable tourism, which is referred to in the SDG 12, and which is also publicly often referred to as the One Planet Sustainable Tourism Program. Through this line of action, we have committed to accelerate sustainable consumption and production patterns in the tourism sector, but also beyond. This focus is important, as the tourism sector's resource footprint is already nowadays very large. And in those areas where we have generated evidence, we know that the sector is not meeting agreed targets. For example, the sector's transport-related CO2 emissions, which represent an estimated 75% of all tourism emissions, are projected to grow by 2030 by 25% over the 2016 baseline. We conducted this research together with the International Transportation Forum and presented the results at the COP25 of UNFCCC. We also concluded that these results are only becoming a fact if we don't accelerate our ambitions. In other words, we have to improve not only what we do, but we have to improve also the planned actions and commit with an even higher ambition than the one we have today. This is only one concrete example for the need to improve the performance of the tourism sector. We have launched more, such as the Global Tourism Plastics Initiative, or in the pipeline, such as the Global Tourism Food Waste Initiative. They often trigger larger action. In the case of plastics, if you start managing this process differently, you will sooner or later start reviewing additional elements of your value chain. And that, in the end, triggers circular economic thinking and action. The action is also often triggered beyond the tourism sector. As tourism makes us discover other ways of thinking and doing, if well designed, tourism can act as an agent of positive change. Having said this, I hope that the time you invest into this summer school will trigger in you realistic next steps and help us achieve the needed transformation of the tourism sector. Have a nice day and my best wishes to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Glaesser. The statistics you mentioned are indeed alarming. Hopefully, one of the outcomes today can help with the tourism and the SDGs. Tourism development must be a part of integrated coastal zone management to help conserve and preserve fragile marine ecosystems and serve as a vehicle to promote a blue economy through sustainable management of fisheries, aquaculture, and tourism. Majestic landscapes, pristine forests, rich biodiversity, and natural heritage sites are often the main reasons why tourists visit a destination. Sustainable tourism needs to conserve and preserve biodiversity, but also terrestrial ecosystems owing to its efforts towards the reduction of waste and consumption. These are goals 14, life below water, and goal 15, life on land. Tourism is a powerful social force that can foster multicultural and interfaith tolerance and understanding, which remains an important stepping stone to a peaceful global society. Goal 16 on peace and justice. Lastly, Goal 17, partnership for the goals. Ambitious SDGs require substantial global partnerships that brings governments, businesses, and communities together. Tourism can assist greatly in working in cooperation to efficiently put SDGs at play. To implement and strengthen the journey towards sustainable tourism development in conjunction with all 17 goals. This brings us to our next speaker for the session, Associate Professor Dr. Syed Mostafa Rasoolimanesh. He is an Associate Professor and the Director of the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, CRiT, and Head of Research for the Faculty of Social Sciences and Leisure Management here at Taylor's University. His research interests contain sustainable tourism, heritage tourism, community participation, residents' perception, and urban sustainability. He has also published widely in high-impact journals. Dr. Mostafa is an editorial board member and team of several SSCI index journals. He has edited several special issues on tourism and SDGs, and he has been involved in several national projects related to sustainable tourism and urban sustainability. So meet the man behind CRiT Summer School for Tourism and SDGs. Over to you, Dr. Mostafa.
Thank you, Dr. Shantini. Hope you can see my screen, right? Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, based on wherever you are. I know we have participants from around the world, so good day to all of you. In the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, CRiT, Taylor's University, we are very happy and glad to welcome all of you to the CRiT Summer School on Tourism and SDG. As I mentioned, we have participants from different countries. Based on the data that I have, we have participants from more than 50 countries. And in this opening, I will try to explain a bit about motivation of CRiT, motivation of Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism for organizing this CRiT Summer School, and why we think tourism and SDG is a very critical and important topic, and this motivates us to plan and organize this CRiT Summer School. So I would like to explain a bit why tourism and sustainable development goals, and later I will go to post-pandemic perspective and try to highlight something related to post-pandemic but linked to our summer school. Let me actually explain a bit of his story about sustainability before going to sustainable tourism. You know, the concept of sustainability was coined 1970s and 1980s when human beings, after decades and maybe centuries of unsustainable behavior, thought they need to think about other aspects addition to economic growth. So in 1972 and later 1980, they think sustainable development actually is a development, type of development that meet requirement for present generation, but at the same time, we need to think about next generation and future generation. So we cannot use all resources in first generation, in present generation, without thinking about next generation. So the intergenerational concept of sustainability was born, and countries and different stakeholders decided to consider different aspects to preserve resources for future. Because of resource limitation, we know we have a limitation of resources, carrying capacity of ecosystem, and needs of future generation. So this intergenerational concept of sustainability was born, and in decades, actually this intergenerational concept was the core and center of thinking about development and sustainable development. We can see in agenda for 21st century and local agenda for 21st century, we can see this intergenerational understanding and concept of development and sustainable development. But this intergenerational understanding gradually later, at the beginning of the 21st century, 2000 onwards, changed to a new understanding of sustainability. In this new understanding of sustainability, we can see less focus on intergenerational needs and understanding. Still, in the meaning of sustainability and concept of sustainability, we need to preserve, we need to keep resources for future generation. But this understanding is part of new paradigm and new understanding of sustainability. So in this new paradigm, we can see economic development, social development and inclusion, and environmental protection as three main pillars of sustainability. So in this new understanding of sustainability, we can see these three pillars that should be considered when we talk about development, if we believe development should be in a sustainable way. Later, after 20 years of Agenda 21, you can see in this Rio Plus 20 UN conference, this is the future that we want because of unsustainable behavior for centuries and decades. And after, look at here, after 40 years of first coining for first time sustainable development concept and concept of sustainability, still we are working with the sustainability. And in Rio Plus 20, we can see this definition. This is aim of human being. This is desire of human being. What future we want? We want a future to promote, sustain, and inclusive economic growth. We want to create greater opportunity for all. We want to reduce inequalities in society, rising basic standard for living of people, right? So foster economic, social, equitable social development and inclusion, addition to economic growth. And we want to promote integrated and sustainable management of natural resources and ecosystem. So this is the future that we want, right? So this future needs to consider three main pillars of development and sustainability: economic growth, and at the same time, environmental protection and social inclusion and development. Okay, this is from another lens. if we want sustainable development, we have to consider three pillars: people, planet, and profit. So development is not only profit and is not only economic growth. In economic growth, also we have to consider planet and environmental protection and people, right? So we have to put all these three at the center of development, not only economic growth and profit. So this is core of new understanding and paradigm of sustainable development. So this understanding actually is translated to Sustainable Development Goals and SDGs. So SDG is a blueprint, is a benchmark to achieve sustainability and to have a sustainable process in different disciplines. So if you look at Sustainable Development Goals, you can see these three pillars. You can find these three pillars: people, planet, and profit, or social inclusion and development, economic development and growth by considering environmental protection and social development, and economic growth together. So you can see these three pillars in 17 SDGs. And you can see, you can categorize these different SDGs under these three main pillars. But at the top, you can see partnership. So these three pillars, we cannot make balance for development for these three pillars without good governance, without partnership between different stakeholders. So you can see another dimension to achieve sustainable development in these 17 SDGs. But what about tourism? We are gathering here to discuss about tourism and sustainability in tourism and SDG, right? There are two understandings about sustainable tourism. One line and one direction say sustainable tourism is a type of tourism can be sustained, only can be sustained in different, sometimes crisis, different period of time, different situation. But another understanding say sustainable tourism is a type of tourism that contribute to sustainable development. So sustaining tourism is part of second definition and understanding. Okay, tourism should be sustained, but at the same time, tourism should contribute to society, contribute to people, social development, social inclusion, and contribute to environmental protection, right? So because of that, you can see UNWTO named the year of 2017 International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development, not only sustainable tourism. So tourism and sustainable tourism is a type of tourism that can contribute to sustainable development. In CRiT, we are following this direction. We believe sustainable tourism is a type of tourism that can contribute to sustainable development. Three pillars of sustainable development: economic growth, yes, but at the same time, social inclusion and environmental protection. So we believe on this definition and this direction of sustainable tourism. But what happened now? We are in pandemic. You know, as Prof. Nithya mentioned and Dr. Dirk also in his speech mentioned, now tourism hit the most by COVID-19 pandemic. And we know all borders are closed for almost 1.5 years. All destinations are closed. Tourism almost shut down, right? So all of us thinking about recovery, how tourism should be recovered, should be back to normal, or we need to identify and define a new normal. What about SDG? What about sustainability? What future of tourism and recovery of tourism looks like? We need to consider sustainable development goals, or we need to consider sustainability and we think about tourism for sustainable development, or at the moment only we need to think about survival of tourism. But survival is not possible without considering this direction. So this pandemic happened because of unsustainable behavior, right? And addition to this pandemic, we have many more crises are coming. Climate change and global warming is not less than this pandemic, and maybe much more. Inequality in societies and different crises, but just we don't feel some of them, right? So if we don't consider this unsustainable behavior that caused this pandemic and crisis, and we want to recover without considering this crisis and this unsustainable behavior, so new normal and the normal and recovery plan should not lead us to future sustainable and sustainable development. So we need to think about this sustainable way of recovery. So actually, this is the reason that we decided to organize this summer school. First, to understand and have some perspective about well-known speakers around the world on contribution of tourism to sustainable development and SDG as a blueprint for sustainable development. So this is first one. So we want to raise awareness. We want to learn from best about contribution of tourism to sustainable development. And then what's the solution? What's the perspective and advice for post-pandemic situation? What's the recovery? What's the characteristic and the perspective that we need to consider in recovery plan for tourism for post-pandemic? So to lead to a more sustainable future for tourism. So this was our motivation to plan and organize this summer school. We started to communicate with the different speakers and identify different topics. And after many rounds of communication with the speakers, we finally identified 12 topics that we will cover these 12 topics in 11 sessions during 5 days from today until 30th of July. And we have 21 prominent speakers on different topics. So you can see we have topics on sustainable tourism behavior, human resource management, inclusive human research management, corporate social responsibility in hospitality and tourism. We have gender equity and women empowerment, rural tourism, and we have partnership in tourism, tourism and social justice, tourism and peace. So we have different topics with the best and prominent speakers around the world to cover this topic, to teach us about and sharing their knowledge about the topic tourism and SDG, and future perspective after COVID and recovery plan for the tourism, considering sustainable development pillars and SDG. For this summer school, we will be live in Facebook and YouTube in CRiT website, so you can watch video. I would like for this summer school, actually, we plan for a few months with the help and support of different people. I would like to greatly thank Professor Dr. Ragavan, Executive Dean of Faculty of Social Science and Leisure Management, and also President of ASEAN Tourism Research Association, ATRA, for his support along the way from the beginning until today that we had his opening, his great opening speech. Dr. Dirk, Glaesser, Director of Sustainable Development of Tourism, United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO. Dr. Joachim, Head of School of Hospitality, Tourism and Event, Taylor's University. Organizing committee, my great colleagues and friends, Dr. Shantini as a co-chair of the CRiT Summer School and Associate Director of Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism. We work together for these few months. We meet sometimes a few times a week to discuss different issue related to different matter related to organizing this summer school. Associate Professor Dr. Kandapan, co-chair of the CRiT Summer School and the Associate Director of CRiT. I would like to thank all moderators for these 11 sessions. We have 22 moderators, our great colleague from School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events, from School of Food Studies and Gastronomy, and from School of Media and Communication. I cannot read name of these 22 people, it takes long. So I really thank them for their support for organizing this CRiT Summer School. Also, I would like to thank postgraduate student and PhD student. We have 12 great PhD students that help us for this summer school, for some activity before, during these 5 days, and we will continue for after summer school. I would like to thank them. Of course, distinguished speakers that kindly accepted our invitation and accepted to share their knowledge with us about tourism and SDG. I also would like to thank Center for Research Management and Research and Enterprise Office, Taylor's University, Marketing and Digital Marketing Department, E-Learning Academy, ELA team, media representatives, and at the top, all participants, all of you that participate in this summer school. And I hope you enjoy different sessions and you will benefit from different sessions. Thank you all. Dr. Shantini, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mostafa. Your words have indeed provided some meaningful insight on not just tourism and SDGs, but also the CRiT Summer School. I think we have to keep in mind that we need to balance the people, the planet, and profits. Next, we move on to Dr. Candy. Over to you. Let's hear from a message by all our speakers about the CRiT Summer School.
See the screen.
Welcome to Taylor's University.
Welcome to Taylor's University.
Welcome to Taylor's University.
Why do people travel? It shares some of the characteristics with addiction.
Hello everybody, welcome to CRiT Summer School. I hope you have a great time with CRiT Summer School. Thank you.
I'm Sylvie Rouillon-Valdiguier. I am a past Deputy Mayor of the city of Toulouse in France. And I'm pleased to be here with you for the Taylor's University Summer Summit. And my intervention presents the vision of an elective member who must coordinate public sector and private sector, and we try to imagine the future of the city and how to facilitate a city's tourism growth and sustainability, and very important in the new world. Thank you.
I am Professor François Velnas from the University of Toulouse. This summer school, CRiT Summer School this year is very important because of sustainability. As professor, I am part of the UNESCO, the UNWTO research on sustainability, and I am very glad to share you my experience and international aspect of what you are working on during this session. Thanks a lot.
My name is Carla Bullock, and I am delighted to be part of this summer school program focused on tourism and the SDGs. I really think it's incumbent upon all of us to engage in critical and thoughtful dialogue around the SDGs if we're serious about progressing and actualizing each and every.
I'm looking forward to meet you all at the CRiT Summer School, where you're going to share ideas for a more sustainable and equitable tourism sector. See you all there. Bye-bye.
This summer school comes at a fantastic time because the need for sustainability and understanding of sustainability in tourism and hospitality has been accentuated and is increasingly important in our COVID and post-COVID world.
Welcome to the CRiT Summer School. I'm Sri from School of Business and Economics, UPM. My area of expertise is sustainable tourism. I think this is a wonderful initiative done by Taylor's to bring about the awareness of sustainability within the context of tourism. So well done, and I hope all of us can learn something from this event. Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. Alicia Ali, and I'm from Sheffield Hallam University in the UK. And along with Dr. Aaron Tham, we will be presenting a session on technology in hospitality and the tourism industry as part of the Summer School on Tourism and SDGs being hosted by Taylor's University in Malaysia. This is really exciting for us to present at this session, and it will be on July 28th. So we both look forward to seeing you then, and take care and see you all soon.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm very privileged to be involved with the Taylor's University Summer School, where I'll be sharing along with Dr. Alicia Ali from the UK in the area of technology and the SDGs. So I look forward to seeing you there and hearing from some of our insights. See you soon.
Kia ora everyone, welcome to the Summer School. It's Regina Scavens here from New Zealand, Massey University. We hosted the world's first research conference on tourism and the SDGs, so it's really exciting to be part of this initiative of Taylor's University, and we're looking forward to sharing lots of insights with you from this part of the world.
Greetings from the Centre for Tourism Research here at Wakayama University in Western Japan. I would like to congratulate the Centre for Research and Innovation in Tourism at Taylor's University for this excellent initiative. The conference, tourism in the SDGs hold a lot of promise, and I look forward to joining you all soon. Congratulations again.
Responsible rural tourism is becoming an important agenda of the global tourism industry. Post-COVID-19, the demand will further increase as visitors and tourists are moving away from mass tourism to niche tourism, and rural tourism is certainly one of the most important forms of tourism that can bring the world close to the 2030 target of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Rural tourism is gaining attention as an alternative to mass tourism. The emergence of various types of rural tourism such as community-based tourism, indigenous tourism, or pro-poor tourism are expected to be dominant, especially during post-pandemic period. In this particular CRiT Summer School talk, I will be focusing on indigenous tourism and SDG goal attainment. So please join us.
Hello everyone, I'm Freya Higgins-Debiol, and I'm really pleased to be speaking at the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism Summer School. I will be talking to you about justice and tourism in relation to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. All the best and see you soon. Bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Raymond Rastegar from the University of Queensland, Australia. I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to share my insight on tourism and justice in the summer school program for tourism and sustainable development goals research. See you all soon.
Hello everyone. My name is Anna Farmaki. I am an assistant professor in tourism management at the Cyprus University of Technology, which is located in the wonderful scenery that you can see in the back. It is with great pleasure that I have accepted the invitation to talk about tourism and peace at the CRiT Summer School.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are coming from. I'm very happy to participate in this summer school, CRiT Summer School event. The topic tourism and peace is very, very, very much important, especially these days with a globalized and a pandemic environment. So I'm happy to share with you and with our colleagues, and we'll be talking together soon.
The 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations 2030 Agenda, known as SDGs, are universal, innovative, integrated, and people-centered. They reflect the 5 P's of sustainable development: people, prosperity, peace, partnership, and planet. Now, the World Tourism Organization suggests that tourism can contribute particularly with the achievement of the Goal 8, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, Goal 12, sustainable consumption and production, Goal 14, sustainable use of oceans and marine resources. But we know tourism can contribute directly and indirectly to the achievement of all 17 objectives if managed in a sustainable way and practiced responsibly. For instance, I work with the relation between tourism and the Goal 16, peace. We, operators of the tourism sector, are all active part of this challenge though. Get engaged and take action then to build together a better world, also to tourism.
And that was a short message by our prominent speakers for the upcoming sessions in the CRiT Summer School. After this, in an hour's time, we will have the session on tourism and SDGs by Professor Michael Hall, as well as Professor Noel Scott on responsible tourism behavior. Tomorrow, on day 2, we will have corporate social responsibility and sustainability in hospitality by Dr. Patricia Martinez and Dr. Ji Seong An. This is followed by the next session on tourism, public politics and sustainability by Ms. Sylvie Bouillon-Valdiguer and sustainable tourism and SME development by Professor Francois Vella. The third session for Tuesday is on tourism and hospitality, where we discuss gender equity and women empowerment. This is led by Dr. Ines Carvalho and Dr. Carla Boluk. So on Tuesday, stay tuned for 3 sessions instead of 2. On Wednesday, we will start off with hospitality and tourism, inclusive human resource management, discussed by Professor Tom Baum and Professor Sridhar Ramachandran. This is followed by at 5 o'clock on technology in hospitality and tourism industry and SDGs by Dr. Alicia Ali and Dr. Aaron Tham. On Thursday, we will begin with SDGs and partnerships in tourism by Professor Regina Skyvans and Professor Joseph M. Chia. The next session is on rural tourism, a discussion led by Professor Vigneswaran Nair and Dr. Puvaneswaran Kunasekaran. Last but not least, Friday, we start off with tourism and social justice led by Dr. Freya Higgins-Deboy and Dr. Raymond Rastiga. Session on tourism and peace by Dr. Anna Farmaki, Dr. Fabio Carbon, and Dr. Omar Mufakir. And that will conclude the 5-day CRiT Summer School on tourism and SDGs. Over to you, Dr. Ruth.
Thank you, Dr. Shantini, for the extensive brief of the program. Good evening, everyone. A good beginning makes a good ending, right? And today's session 1 was a testament to a great week at CRiT Summer School. The distinguished speakers, starting from Professor Dr. Neethiahnanthan Ari Ragavan, Executive Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Leisure Management, Taylor's University, who indeed inspired us with his insightful welcome note, stressing the need for a greener tomorrow and a sustainable ecosystem, mentioning the rampant behaviors of the citizens. He also mentioned on how the students at Taylor's University, through their Social Innovation Project module, contribute back to the environment. Thanks for that session, Prof. Nithya. Secondly, we also had the session's second speaker, Dr. Dirk Glaesser, Director of Sustainable Development of Tourism, UNWTO. Dr. Glaesser cited the key points of 2030 agenda of the sustainable tourism and the strategies to be deployed. He started off with the current pandemic, the sources to the 70% of all the emerging diseases in the world, the influence of human activities, and so on. He also stressed on the cause to prevent the future pandemic and highlighted on how UNWTO is moving towards this through the SDG 12. Lastly, we had Associate Professor Dr. Mostafa Rasoolimanesh, Director, Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, Taylor's University, who was profound in his sharing on sustainable development. Actually, it was challenging for me to take notes, though. That's on a lighter note. He emphasized on the rationale of this summer school and the way forward. He started off his session way back from 1972 and shared the history of SDGs, the generations, the stakeholders, the 3 Ps of sustainability: people, planet, and profit. Marketing people, it's not the other 3 Ps, it's people, planet, and profit, and stressed on the governance of SDG. He then highlighted on sustainable tourism and ended his session with the belief of CRiT, economic growth, the social inclusion, and environmental protection. He kept us thinking for the survival of tourism as a way forward. He ended his enlightening session on the main objectives of the CRiT Summer School, which is to understand and have some perspectives from well-known global speakers on contribution of tourism and SDGs Secondly, the advice for post-pandemic recovery for tourism. Indeed, it was an insightful session, isn't it? Right, moving on, let's just open up our cameras for a digital photo. And before that, we have a feedback through the word cloud using Slido. So just give us one key takeaway from today's session, Tourism and SDGs. We have had 3 distinguished speakers. So just one word, you can scan this QR code, as also there's a code at the slido.com. As we start giving us your feedback, we will move to the second session, which is the digital photo. May I ask all of you all to turn on your cameras and give us your best smile. Right, we have around just 560 participants, so we will just take a few screenshots. Smile until we keep 2, 3. Second page, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Moving on to the third page, 1, 2, and 3. Fourth page, 1, 2, and 3. Yes, give us your best smile. Fifth page. Right. 1, 2, and 3. All right, we're on the 7th page. You want to turn on your cameras? All right, I invite Dr. Candy to share the word cloud feedback. Over to you, Dr. Candy.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth. I think people are posting. There's a very good summary, I think, still going on. So let me share the screen. I think I can share the live screen. Hope everyone can see the live screen. Is everyone seeing the right screen?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So I think it's keep on popping up. I think the purpose of this CRiT Summer School with the theme sustainability and SDGs clearly getting the bigger bubbles that probably people who are here, I think they understand what is sustainability. The reason, because we had a very good introduction by Prof. Neethia and followed with Dr. Dirk, and I think as Dr. Ruth mentioned, a very extensive presentation about the whole story and the history of the sustainability by our AP Associate Professor Dr. Mostafa. I think it's keep popping up. Very good, excellent. Tourism, sustainability. Okay, that's good. I think I will stop this at the moment. I mean, so you can keep posting. We will use this inputs for later integration into a special recognition. Let me go to the concluding slides. Okay, we had a very good word clouds. Sorry. Okay, so we have almost come to the closing of the first session, which is an opening session on tourism and SDG. So on behalf of CRiT, Taylor's University, from the whole heart, thanks and extending the great support despite of the busy schedule making you a virtual presence. Thank you to each and everyone, the friends and probably colleagues and collaborators and industry partners across the global for joining us for the session 1. And we expect the same support for our second session, which will start at 5 p.m. Malaysian timing. So the second session will be on tourism and SDG with their two eminent speakers, Prof. Michael Hall and Prof. Noel Scott, and moderated by Prof. Kashif Hussain and Ms. Jogan Lim. So until we connect you back for the session 2, all of you can have a health break, or probably you want to continue your chat, use our Zoom chat to interact and get new connections, to look forward, to build your network. Thank you one and all. Thank you, and a big round of applause to all, including especially the students who are being a support for us, organizing committee, speakers, moderators, and also especially the participants. Without participants, nothing comes to an end, right? Thank you so much. See you all at 5 p.m. Malaysian timing. Thank you. Which is probably you can join the session maybe 10 minutes before, which is 40 minutes from now.
Welcome to Taylor's University.
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 Today, we're going to get hands-on with these racing cars.